In this Webflow demo, I'm going to talk about updating the CMS to have more fields and adding pagination to a CMS section. So the first thing we're going to do is open the CMS in the sidebar, click on podcasts, and then click on the gear icon here that allows you to see all of the fields that are available. So right now we don't have one for bio, so I'm adding a new field. That's going to be plain text, and I'm going to give it multiple lines so you have more space to edit it. So this is bio, more information about the interviewee. Now, one thing that we could do here is potentially add more links so that you could have a personal website for that person. I think it's probably better to have the bio be flexible so that you can add links, or if they don't have any links, it's okay. So actually, I'm going to change this, and instead of using plain text, I'm going to switch the bio field to a rich text field. So this will allow you to have images or links as well as just the text itself. So I think that will be a little bit more flexible for you. So now I've just added that to the collection. I'm going to save, and now that's available on each of these individual instances. So if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the bio of the interviewee. It's a little bit annoying to get there because the transcript is so long. So I'm going to edit that so that this is moved up and it's a little easier to get to. There you go. Great. So now the second thing that you asked for is having the date. So the way that you update the date is I'm actually going to add a new field so I can specify what date I want to say it went out on. And now when I save the collection, on each of these, I'll be able to pick the date that I want to say it came out on. So for example, August 25th. Now I'm saving that, and in here, I need to add a new text block to include that date. So I just added to the CMS the release date and the bio field. Now for the podcast tiles, I need to add that release date. So I come over here to the plus, I get the text, drag it in, and then click Get Text from Podcasts, and then select the field. And that's going to be date of release. We could also do published on, but that I think might not actually be the date that the podcast happened. So for now, I will use published on. You should come back in here and change this if you use that custom date field. So now we have an issue here where the look of this text doesn't match. So I'm going to use the same class that's here. I'm going to do podcast, episode, description. And now I can use that same class, podcast, episode, description, on the date as well. So now they match. That looks great. An issue is that this is now too tall for the image. So there's this white space at the bottom. The way that we can fix that is to increase the size of this image. So that allows it to grow dynamically with the space available. Great. So now these all look fine. I'm double checking. I'm going to change this to be all caps. But it will change the original class, so I have to do a secondary class for the date so that I can edit just the date field and not edit the original description. Now I make it all caps. I'm also going to increase the space between the letters because I think that'll make it look a little bit nicer when it's all caps. So I'm giving it 1 pixel of spacing between the letters, and I'm going to lighten the color of gray. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to click publish so that change goes out. Update the podcast tiles. And now I'm going to do pagination. So I'm clicking the collection list here, do the settings, and then for layout, let's see, show all settings. Paginate items, items per page 10. We can decrease that to 5 if you want. So now that looks like this. You can style the buttons. I think they look fine. So using the eyeball to preview, this is what it looks like with pagination. I think that it probably needs to be a little bit shorter because scrolling up and down to look across these pages isn't great. So I am going to decrease the number of items to 3. That looks okay. I'm previewing it. It's being a little bit slow, I think because I'm recording my screen at the same time. This seems okay to me. Great. So now I'm going back into edit mode. Starting on the first page. And I'm going to publish that. So that is the third thing there with adding pagination. Great. That's it.